What it do? It's your boy Coach Mark. A little bit of lunchtime logic for you. So come on in. Let me know what you eating today. It's lunchtime on the East Coast. A lot of y'all just eating, period. So wherever you're at on the earth, let me know what you eating today for lunch. Let me know how you feeling today on a Tuesday. So we're gonna get into it today, just a tiny bit. You know? Now, this is Lunchtime Logic. It is your guy, Coach Mark. So on Lunchtime Logic, what we do is I get emails from people, right? And they email me their issues. They might have issues with weight loss, getting in shape, starting to just go back to the gym a little bit. They might have some wellness questions. They might have a situation where they need to change some habits, perhaps. So what I do is I keep their names anonymous, obviously, and I come on here and give y'all the scenario, and we talk about it together. So make sure you put your comments or your suggestions in the chat for the folk, right? Because people need help. Now, if you are someone who feels like you need to get a coach, you need somebody to help you get through this period of time that you're at, this point in your transformation, go in my bio, click the link, schedule a free consultation. A free consultation, that is 30 minutes, 30 to 60 minutes, and we will talk about your situation and see if we will be a good fit for me to coach you, okay? That might be once a month, that might be 4 times a month, that might be for 6 months, okay? Whatever that might be, let's try to figure that out. Just click the link, free consultation, all right? Now, what am I eating today? I got the peas, 5 ounces of chicken, 5 ounces of cooked salmon. Also have 3 ounces of the canned tuna. Now, why do I show you guys my plate? Because when you start showing people your plate and how it's measured out and the amounts and the weights and all these things, people get a chance to like really see what goes into these bowls that people are talking about, right? We see the IG reels, we see the YouTube reels, and we're aware because we see the plate and we're like, okay, that looks really good, but how did he get there to it? And guys, I'm telling you, weighing out your food is a cheat code. It's a cheat code. It takes a tiny bit more time. But most of y'all are in the kitchen for a good amount of time every day anyway, right? So when we weigh out our food, we just give ourselves another metric to where we can track and measure what we're doing so that we can get to our goals faster and stay there. You know what I mean? So, but I always show you what I'm eating just to let you guys know I'm living it just like you are. All right. Now, I got an email from a young man. He emailed me at coachmark22@gmail.com. That is coachmark22@gmail.com. He emailed me. Said, bro, I need to lose like 30, 40 pounds. In my mid-30s, 35, 36, single father of 2. He said, I'm really busy with work, and it's been hard for me to find time to work out, get to the gym, do what I need to be doing every day. So, I just need you to help me try to figure out some ways that I can, navigate through these waters and get back in shape. He's like, I used to work out. I was always in really good shape. I'm sitting up at like 235. I'm normally around 190. So I had a couple questions for him, obviously, because, people will, when you email me, I love for you guys to be as detailed as possible, okay? So if you feel like you're rambling, you're doing the right thing, because the more information, the better. So he gave me a lot of information, but I still needed some more. So first I asked him how long has it been since he's been in really great shape. I said, look through your phone and tell me the date on the last picture that you looked amazing. The last time you looked amazing. Not good, not half decent, but amazing. So He hit me back and said, man, to be honest with you, it was 2023. I'm like, all right, cool. So at that time, he said he had got to 190. He felt really good about himself. So I said, what was your lifestyle when you got to 190? Like, what were you doing? So he talked about the fact that he wasn't on any alcohol at that time. He was going through a breakup. He was fasting, long periods of time fasting. He was watching what he ate. He was working out several times a day, getting in 20,000 steps a day, and just really focusing on himself. And he was able to drop a significant amount of weight in a small period of time. But it was 3 years ago. And then before that, because it's important to know this, when was the period before you got in shape? Because this is what'll happen, guys. We have the fat sandwich, right? The fat sandwich. When somebody's fat for 5 years, they get in shape, be in shape for like a year or two, and then be out of shape again for 5. Well, it matters what the sandwich is. Because if you told me, yo, oh, nah, I'm thinking you were in shape for 30 years of your life, and you was only out of shape for 5. But if you were out of shape for a long period of time, then got in shape for a little bit of time, and then got out of shape again, that tells a bigger story. So he has said that he was out of shape for like 3 or 4 years before 2023. So now we're getting somewhere, because now, over the last 6 to 8 years, bro, you've been mostly out of shape. I asked him about the kids. How much does he have them? Does he have them all the time? Does he have them sometimes? Oh, I got them half the week. Their mom has them the other half. All right, cool. Are you married? Not married? He said, nah, I'm not married. I'm single. All right, cool. That matters. And ultimately, I said, what is your goal? What is your main goal? And then, can you tell me 2 or 3 of your vices? Right? 2 or 3 of your vices. He said, the main goal is to be at 190, feel really great about himself, and be working out constantly so that he can be proud to take off his shirt when he goes to the beach. All right, cool. That makes sense. So I said, so what are your vices? Because, guys, we all have vices. Now, we might not be indulging in our vices. You understand? We might not be indulging in our vices right now. But we all have them. Your vice can be watching TV too much. Your vice can be shopping, right? Your vice can be desserts. Your vice can be toxic relationships. Your vice can be playing the PlayStation too much. Because they all affect us, right? And normally they're hard to let go of. Let's just be clear about that, okay? So I asked him what his vice was. He said he liked to drink a little bit. And, you know, when he goes through relationship issues, he doesn't handle them very well. So if he's dating somebody and it goes sideways or they stop talking, he normally gets into his bag, maybe drinking more, not wanting to get up for the gym, so on and so forth. That was really important. So I said, all right, bro, you got 235, you want to get down to 190. It's not that hard to lose weight, right? We can lose weight on the scale pretty easily. Normally, you cut your calories enough, you walk enough. You know, I mean, you know, you can make it happen. But I said, you know, it's really important that in your mid-30s that you get a hold of your health, because things that we ignore in our 30s, they popping up in our 40s. They popping up in our 40s. And what we're doing is, a lot of times, looking back, you 43 years old, you might got type 2 diabetes, but it's because of how you treated yourself in your 30s, because you thought you were still in your 20s. See, we develop bad habits in our 20s, but it doesn't, we don't see the results in our 20s. So we keep it going in our 30s, right? And if we don't get a hold of them, they show up in a bad way in our 40s. So I said, bro, this time out, not only do we want you to drop the weight, we want you to build muscle, become healthy, be getting your blood work done, right? All your health markers intact, and create a lifestyle that you can sustain, because obviously you haven't been able to sustain it. You know what I mean? And that's really important, guys. Man, there's so many extreme measures that we can take and we can get the weight off. Guys, you can get on, you can get on Ozempic. There's so many things you can take nowadays to just lose weight, right? Or to lose fat, lose weight, however you want to call it. Kind of two different things, but same thing for most of you. You want to see a different number on the scale. You can take things to do that. But when you stop taking the thing, or the thing is no longer effective, whichever one comes first, then what do you do? Okay, and that's where normally we have our issue. So I told him we gotta attack the vice first, right? How much are you drinking? And I get this question a lot because people think that your favorite health and fitness influencers, or your coaches, or your trainers, right, that all of us are alcohol free. Guys, that's not true. But what we all have realized is that alcohol does nothing to further enhance our ability to build muscle. It does not enhance the body's ability to burn fat, right? A lot of times it's empty calories. There's sugar, insulin spikes that come about because we normally drink at night. Most of us have realized that when we drink, we also indulge in the other bad habits. So when you hear guys like myself say we rarely drink, or we just drink on a Saturday, right? It's because we maybe went through a period of time where we used to drink every day. And all the bad habits, as soon as we stop drinking, all the bad habits start to go out the window too. So it's not signing a lifelong ban to say I'm going to chill on the alcohol. That's not what's going on. But it is saying I got to make this a very small fraction of my life if I'm still going to do it. It has to be a small part of my life, not a big part. Because it's hard to make progress when your body is constantly dehydrated, when you have an influx of sugar coming in because of the liquor that you might drink, or what you mix it with, right? Aside from all the other, all the other negatives that come with drinking alcohol, right? So you don't have to stop forever, but during this time that you're really trying to get serious and transform, you're going to have to dial it back. So I told him, I said, listen, bro, you got to cut it down at least in half. And that means whatever you're doing, cut it in half. Everybody can't go cold turkey. And guys, listen, if you're gambling every night, you sports betting every night, you gamble on the soccer, the baseball, some of y'all gambling on the women's WNBA, all that. If you're doing it every day and you think you're just going to cut cold turkey and that's going to last, bro, I'm telling you, that's a recipe for disaster. So whenever we remove a bad habit, we have to do it in stages, just like we would if we add a good habit. Everything's in stages and levels, okay? Most people cannot cut things cold turkey. So he said, oh, bro, a lot of nights it'd be 3-4 drinks. All right, 2 drink minimum from now on. And I said, now let's successfully do that for 30 days. After 30 days, now we jump to every other day, or just having one a day. And then you jump to every other day, then every 3 days. And before you know it, because you're giving your body a chance to get used to not having access to something that you've been consuming for however long. So I said, the reason why we have to cut back on the vice first is because, especially when it's alcohol, alcohol makes us throw caution to the wind, right? Alcohol makes us say F it. It's the F it juice, y'all. Y'all know what it is. You get that alcohol in your system, 2 shots, F it. And we make bad decisions. Our decision-making abilities change. They just do. So what ends up happening then is, instead of us refraining from going to the pantry to get some snacks, instead of us refraining from calling Uber Eats, instead of us saying no to somebody who wants to go to the Chinese buffet, we say yes. So therefore, we're consuming more calories, consuming more sugar, our carbs are off the charts, we're eating late at night. That's the biggest thing with the alcohol. So I said, bro, we got to cut back on the alcohol usage, or a lot of this is not going to work. Okay. So I said, once you have that tackled, I also want you to track your nutrition, right? And when we say track our nutrition, guys, a lot of you get scared because it's like, oh my God, Mark, that's going to be so much work. That's part of it. The second part is, a lot of you think that you eat a lot worse than what you do. I'm telling you guys, most of you don't eat as bad as what you think. The result is not good because you're looking in the mirror, looking at your gut. You're looking in the mirror, you see the side handles, you see the back. So a lot of you think you're eating a lot worse than what you do. Trust me, if you put your normal plate beside my normal plate, it's probably not that much different. The difference is I track my nutrition. I know exactly how much protein I'm going to consume today. I know exactly how much protein I'm going to consume for the next 7 days. I know exactly how many calories I had over the last week. I know, oh, okay, I had a rough day at the gym or I had a strenuous workout. I know I'm going to up my calories or my carbs today on purpose. Whereas you have no idea. You're not measuring it. Guys, these days, and I told homie, you can take a picture, upload it to your favorite calorie tracking app, and it's going to tell you where you at. I said, so listen, bro, you're going to track your calories. And you're just going to do this for 2 weeks just to see how much you're consuming. And then I want you to inbox me back and tell me how much you're consuming. And then I can give you a small plan on to how to start to reduce that, right? Because again, what I find is it's not that bad. We're normally consuming the wrong nutrients. That's what we're consuming. We're some of you are not getting in anywhere near enough protein. We're consuming way too much processed sugar. Our sodium is way too high, right? But the calories normally aren't bad. But when we change the macro setup, oh, bro, you only getting in 2,300 milligrams of sodium every day, right? We're going to make sure we only get in 20 grams of sugar. Now your food choices have to change. And because of that, your calories then go down, right? So told him we're going to do that for 14 days, get back to me, and then we'll figure out at what stages we're going to go down. So he said, listen, I really like to fast. And so when I lost before, I fasted like crazy. Like I would do like 36-hour fasts, and then I would eat 2 days, and then I would go back to doing like a 48-hour fast. I said, bro, that's awesome. The problem is, when you come up out of that, what are you going to do? Because you can't fast for the rest of your life. Now, having a fasting protocol on a consistent basis is very, very effective. But you have to be at a certain level of discipline for that. And most of us are not there. Most of us are not there. So you can do it for 30 days. But what happens is when you come up out that 30 days and you done lost like 20 pounds, now you feel like, oh, it's on. Oh, I can do what I want to do. And then we end up jumping back into our bad habits a lot quicker. So I said, listen, bro, I would love to throw in some fasting with you, but it has to be controlled fasting. It has to be planned fasting. Okay. So he said, yeah, I would just fast for like 36 hours. And then 2 days later, I might just fast for another 36. I said, yeah, but did you have a structure? Did you have a cycle? Our body runs off of a rhythm, right? Our body runs off of a rhythm. That's why women have cycles every 24 days or whatever it might be, right? Men have cycles too. Our body runs best when it's on a rhythm. That's why our children grow at the rate that they grow, and they don't have the health problems. A lot of it, we attribute it to them being young. So much of it is because their sleep is on a schedule, their feedings are on a schedule. A lot of them, their activities on a schedule because they're at school. Recess at the same time every single day, 2 times a day. They come home, it's 3:30. They're outside running around till 5 o'clock every day. Well, so as adults, we need to get ourselves on these same type cycles. So when it comes to fasting, if you choose to fast, that's fine. Put it on a cycle. Oh, I'm going to fast 24 hours every Monday, and I'm going to do it again on Thursday. And it continues to be this cycle, okay? So as far as establishing a rhythm, right? So we talked about fasting on a rhythm. I said, what's going on with the sleep? He's like, all it's up and down. You know, sometimes I go to bed at 10. Other times I go to bed much later. That's fine. I said, number one, let's just be clear about something. We've all been there, right? Where we just go to bed when we're done at night. When we're done watching TV, when we're done watching the game, when we get tired, right? So it's 2 things to that. Oddly, 99% of us have a wake-up time, right? We have a time that we have to get up, and most of us, it's the same time every day. Same time every day. Because if nothing else, you got to get the kids up and you got to get them to school. But we don't have a consistent bedtime. And again, one of the things that kept us in great shape when we were younger, guys, was the fact that we had a consistent bedtime. We always want to attribute it to, oh, I was 12. Oh, I was 10. Well, if you didn't notice lately, you can walk around and find you some out of shape and obese kids that are 10 and 12. It's not just because they're young, bro. It's because when you're on a consistent sleep schedule, your body has a chance to repair. Your hormones are balanced. Your body has a chance to fast, and it knows when the fast is coming. Everything gets processed differently when you're on that rhythm. So I told him, I said, bro, you got to establish a bedtime. And with you establishing a bedtime, then we can establish your dinner time. Got to have a bedtime. Your body needs to know exactly how much rest and recovery it's going to get. Think about if you were trying to cut your grass, and you were trying to get yard work done, and you were having company come over, but the company never told you what time they was coming over. How would you get the yard work done? You don't know when to start because you don't know how long it's going to take you. And even if you know how long it's going to take, you don't know what time they're going to be. You don't know what time you need to be done. Your body needs a certain amount of time to repair itself. So if the sleep time is different every single night, your body doesn't know, do we need to hurry up and digest the food? Do we need to hurry up and extract the nutrients out of the bloodstream? Do we need to hurry up and repair these muscles for tomorrow's workout? Is he going to be asleep for 5 hours or 8 or 4? We can't have it bouncing around. So what we have to do is establish a bedtime and attach it to the wake up time. And I said, bro, listen to me. You might not start out getting 8 hours. 8 hours is great. It's amazing. But if it's at the same time every night, and if it's for the same amount of time, generally, you'll see your hormones start to balance. You'll see your digestion improve. Your gut microbiome starts to fix itself. Your cells start to repair better. You'll have better energy. Your melatonin production changes. Well, I said, bro, you need a bedtime. So just staying up until whenever, that does not exist with healthy people. 99% of the people that you follow and admire have a bedtime. And that is for sure. So I said, listen, when you establish your bedtime, right? Which most of us guys is going to be somewhere between 9 and 10:30, right? That seems to be the consensus. I said, now you can establish your dinner time. He said, well, why do I need a dinner time? And I'm telling you guys this for a reason. Because it was a valid question. I said, you need a dinner time for the same reason why your kids need a dinner time. The same reason why you need a bedtime. Because again, the rhythm. Guys, when we eat our last meal late at night, it takes the body longer to digest the food than it does during the day, right? Now, there are scientific reasons and biological reasons why the body processes food a little bit quicker when the sun is out. But because everybody doesn't believe in that. So if we're just going off of movement versus non-movement, guys, our metabolic rate is higher during the daytime when we're moving around, obviously, right? So when when we eat at 8:30 and then just sit there, our metabolism is slowing down for the evening, right? We've already started producing melatonin, or at least our body's trying to, right? And so the digestion process is not as quick. Now, understand something. The body goes through the digestion process to extract the nutrients out to the parts of your body that needs it. But if you're always eating at 8:30, your body knows, oh, we don't have to get these nutrients out no time soon. He's not doing anything for the rest of the night. There's no movement that's going to be required for the rest of the evening. But when we eat early, 5, 6, most of you aren't going to sit down for the rest of the evening, right? And we prescribe the after dinner walks anyway. So I said, bro, let's just say you're going to bed at 10 o'clock. You need to be eating your last meal at 6. Now, a lot of people will tell you 7. 7 is when you need to put the fork down. 7 is when you need to be done eating the little tiny after dinner dessert, right? So if we start eating at 7, that can easily turn into 8. Easily, right? So we like to say 6. So I said, bro, establish that dinner time for 6 o'clock. For those of you that might have a different dinner time, a different bedtime, 4 hours before you go to bed. Now, some of you are like, oh, Mark, I only sleep from like 12 to 5, 12 to 6. That's cool. I don't think you should be eating at 8 o'clock. Because again, most of you are not going to move after a certain time of night, especially once we get to the winter time. We're a little bit more active in the summer, guys, but we also got to plan for the winter. So I said, now, let's recap. We got a bedtime. We got a wake up time. We're going to establish a better circadian rhythm. We have a dinner time. We have a plan on how we're going to back up off the alcohol. We're also going to start tracking our food consumption, and we're not changing anything that we eat. We're just tracking the food consumption. He said, what about working out? Now, this is a question I get from everybody because they want to talk about the working out before all the other things. I said, listen to me, bro. On a really great day, everybody's body is different because we have different body types and we have different muscle structure. So someone with more muscle might burn more calories performing the same movement that you perform. But I said, let's just say you had a pretty active day and you burned 1,000 calories. That does not matter if your sugar content is way too high, if your bedtime's all over the place, if you're eating and snacking throughout your day and you have these multiple insulin spikes throughout your day. It doesn't matter. When they say you can't outwork a bad diet, guys, it's so cliche, but it's so true. And I think the reverse is true. And I told him, I said, you take this with you, brother. A good diet requires less working out. A good diet requires less working out. Guys, I'm telling you, it's 75% of the battle. There's some people that would say it's 80%. If you couldn't do anything right now, if you said, Mark, I can't work out at all. Only thing I can do is go to sleep and eat. That's all I have time for. That's fine. You can change most of what you're looking to change throughout this transformation just from your diet. So I said, bro, listen, you haven't worked out in years, right? It's been a couple years. If you start trying to work out and thinking that you're going to be back to where you are, you're going to lose momentum, right? Very quickly. You're going to lose confidence in yourself because you're thinking that you're just as strong as you used to be. You can get back to that because obviously we have muscle memory. But bro, if you've been off for a while and you've been treating your body bad, it's not going to perform for you, right? We got to give it some time. I said, dog, the easiest thing you can do is walk. The easiest thing you can do is walk. You can be consistent with walking. It does not take equipment. You don't need a whole bunch of extra time. Walk. Guys, I walk an average of 6 miles a day. I try to get in 3 miles in the morning throughout my workout and before my workout. And then I get three miles in at night. It takes me about 50 minutes, 50. And it's the standard. Okay? That gets me at least 12,000 steps. I normally get about 16 to 17,000 steps. I said, bro, getting in 10, 12,000 steps a day, every single day, even on the weekends, you're going to see a huge change. You don't have to do it all at once. You can break it up into 4 different walks, but one of them should be after dinner. One of them should be after dinner. I said, now, again, complete that for 21 to 30 days. And then we can talk about implementing some strength training program. But you have to build the habit of being consistent first. What we try to do is ditch the alcohol, start going to bed early, get up early, strength train 5 days a week, fast, and cut off some toxic people. And think that we're going to stick to all of that at one time. That's really not how humans are set up, man. We're creatures of habit. So we have to change each habit little by little. And we try to attack the easiest ones first. Because when you're consistent, that's how you start doing everything. So if you can walk for 30 days, now you can add in a couple workouts to the walking. And you're going to gain some momentum, right? So you're going to believe that you're consistent. Oh, I keep my promises to myself. I'm consistent. On top of that, you will have dropped some fat during that time, not just because of the walking, but because of the other changes that you've made. You understand? A lot more confidence and belief in yourself. So now it's easy to get to the gym. Guys, listen, I work out every single day. I do something active every single day. Out of 7 days out of the week, there's at least 2 days that I don't feel like it. And guys, this is my livelihood. This is my life. You're not going to feel like it most days. If you're actually, when we're talking about once you get to strength training, bro, if you're intense in the gym, you're not going to like it most of the time. So setting yourself up for failure by attaching a super early wake up, a super early bedtime, these monumental PRs you think you're going to hit in the first couple, it's not going to happen. So I said, listen, bro, the movement is key. You got your walking. You're going to eat 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. You're going to go to bed at 10. Hopefully you get 8 hours, but even if you only get 7, circadian rhythm, right? You're going to walk after dinner. You're going to cut the alcohol in half. And 30 days later, you're going to cut it in half again. And you're going to keep going like that till it's at a very, very small fraction of your routine. And then you're going to implement the workouts. Also, didn't include tracking the food. At some point, then we'll cut down the calories. But most likely we're going to adjust the macros, and that's going to do the calorie cutting for the first probably 2 months. And you'll see a reduction in calories as well. I told him, you follow that plan. Let's also be realistic that because of where you are and the fact that you haven't been doing much, 2 pounds a week is a great goal. Great goal. So let's just be realistic. That's 8 to 10 pounds that first month, 8 to 10 pounds the next month. But you're halfway to your goal after 60 days of consistency. So I told him, listen, let's check back in 30 days from now. What we'll do is attack another vice. We'll address the movement part, so that's the steps or the workouts. We'll assess your sleep habits to see what we can then start to eliminate on both ends, meaning cutting the TV off earlier, right? When we wake up, not touching our phone for 30 minutes, things like that. Obviously, as you're tracking the food, we're going to adjust your macros so we can start making sure that you're getting in enough protein, enough healthy fats, right? Reducing the sugar. If you keep on a ritual of eliminating some bad habits, establishing more and more consistency, your body gets in a rhythm of using stored fat for energy. And that's how we lose fat. But it has to be on a comfortable rhythm. Your body's not going to let go of fat, which it's saving for an emergency, if it always feels like it's in emergency mode, because your sleep's all over the place, your calories are all over the place, you eat at all different times, you move for 3 days and then you don't move for 4 more. But when you're on a consistent rhythm, your body's like, oh, this is what we do. We only need this much energy every day. So yeah, we can get rid of all that other energy around the midsection, right? That's what fat is, stored energy. So I will update you guys on the young man with the 2 kids, and there's other things that I didn't get to. So when he gets back with me, we'll do a part 2 about him. Okay. If you are someone like this, and you feel like you're in a situation, you've tried this a couple times, you keep failing, right? Click the link in the bio. Schedule a free consultation with me, right? We'll get on the actual Zoom and look at each other and have a conversation. Figure out if you need a coach, because you might not need a coach. You might just need a program to follow. A lot of you are very consistent. You just don't have a definite program and a set of rules and guidelines to follow. You might not need a coach. Or you might need a coach for the first month to meet with 2 to 3 times a week. And then after that month, you only got to meet once a week. And then it goes into once a month. But many of us need help in certain areas, guys. And I will tell you this. The transformation that you want to make is going to change your entire life. It's not just going to be that you look better in a bathing suit. It's not just going to be you can find love. Your entire life, every phase of your life changes when you get in better shape. Especially, most of you only have 30 to 40 pounds to lose. It will change your entire identity. Just being honest with you. All right. So this is Lunchtime Logic. I am your guy, Coach Mark. I will see you guys every day, Monday through Friday, lunchtime. Sometimes it'll be 11:45, 12 o'clock, Eastern Standard Time. Okay? Eastern Standard Time. But come on in here, get with your boy every day. And we're going to talk about some solutions, man. We don't hey, listen, man. If you're looking for somewhere to talk about problems, this is not the page. This is not the channel. We talk about solutions on here, all right? But we're going to get in shape and become healthier one day at a time together. Because that's the one thing we all have that runs consistent. We all have 24 hours in this day. So most of us can only do but so much today. So we might as well do it together, all right? So this is your boy, Coach Mark. This is Transformation Station. This is Lunchtime Logic. I'll see you guys tomorrow.